Yes, I think it's set now. So, for long, something I have been trying to express about the occupational diversity of a society. How is it important to economy as well as society? General belief is that all people should be placed into one or two most formalized sectors of economy. If we try to achieve this goal, the economy will collapse and the society will also collapse, because no society can exist without the occupational coexistence. So it is futile to imagine that all people should be made public servant, where they could do the work where they are safest and securest. It's unscientific. Instead of trying to throw all workers into one or two or three highly organized sectors, the science of economics says that all workers should be formalized in their own respective work, because each work has a structural functional science, because there is a work because there is a function. There is a function because there is need. There are needs because there are people who have some wants. So it is the wants that gets converted into needs. It is the need that gets converted into functions, and functions create the structures. So we cannot, howsoever hard we try, we cannot push our workforce into one or two or three, maybe 10 sectors also. What is more scientific and relevant is that to try to formalize as many jobs and as many sectors as possible. Unless we do this, why don't we do this? Why do we fail? Is because we have the idea that some works are great and some works are undoable. They should not be done. This is how we ended up building untouchability. Some works may not be pure and required also, but the works which are necessary for the survival of society, we can't wish them away. So instead of hating the works, as we do generally in all backward societies, we need to offer respect to as many works, as many sectors as possible, by formalizing them, by making them regular occupations, by making them socially recognized. Whether we want or not, there are people who will continue to work in those sectors, like fishing. There are 3 crore people who are working in fishing sector. A large population in India may not respect them, but the question is that where should they be thrown? Can we throw them into Indian Ocean? 4 crore people. Out of these 4 crore people, around 50% of them earn 5,000 to 6,000 per day. Means that is equivalent to around the salary of a professor. No, the difference is that the professors are highly socially recognized and respected. but not the fisherman who earns 5,000 per day by risking his life every day in the webs of seas. But they do need our recognition and respect. 3 crore people. They contribute to 1.5% of the GDP of India and 7% of agricultural GDP of India. But our traditional religious mindset says that no, the fishermen are first of all ये तो non-vegetarian हो गए और इनका तो कोई security नहीं है, so they should not get married also. There is a general proverb in North India that हम इनको अपनी बेटी नहीं देंगे. Fortunately, this has not been the culture in South India. This is just one example. Every work needs recognition and respect. And instead of taking the people away from the works which are giving a good income, a decent income of, even if it is 1,000 per day, this is a good income, this is a decent. Instead of hating the people, we should try to formalize them. We should try to give them proper social recognition. Okay, before I go into the detail of each job in India, this is what I am planning to do. I have a list of 50 major occupations, both formal as well as informal. However, I have been a person for last 15 years who has tried to pour my heart into the understanding of informal work. A hidden research I have been doing on all sorts of informal works in India, because I have to stand with the people who are weak. That's the vow of the life. That was the promise with the life. Have to stand with the people who appear to be weaker prima facie in the eye of society. Only by changing the values and how does the society look at the weaker people, we can, I have always believed, make the society stronger. 92% workers in India are in unorganized, informal working sector. Impossible. I have read books after books. One day I will show the books I have read on employment alone, not less than 12, both formal employment, informal employment, how the employment is formalized, how the jobs and employment evolve. There are people who become teacher of economics even if they have not read even one single proper book on each topic. Here am I who read dozen plus books on each subtopics. For example, informal work itself in global perspective. I read dozens of books along with every year almost ILO report on formalization and informalization of work. But I have to be silent. But there are many ways of expressing, there are many forms of expressing the thoughts, the facts, and then thoughts based on those facts. So based on my readings and based on my knowledge, which I gather from various sources, no way these informal works can be overnight replaced by all formal works. As the human society evolves, similarly, the jobs, the works also keep on evolving. What is today a perfectly evolved job has or may have taken decades to come in its present shape. It takes decades for a job to evolve and to become a full fledged white collar chair based job which society offers all its love and respect. It takes time. I have known and I have believed that we can, with our efforts of policies and laws, we can formalize most of the works. So instead of giving respect only to government jobs and to few formalized private jobs, we must learn as a society to give respect to the informal works also. Yes, we need to add formalization in those informal work, but hating the work of some people, especially, for example, the people who do the houseworks, the people who do other menial and manual works, hating them and saying that you are uneducated and illiterate and that is why you are doing this work. This is continuation of a racialism. I have seen the so-called educated people hating, rather institutionalizing the hatred against the housemaids or all the people who do all physical work for us. If they are not there, maybe after 2 decades or 3 decades, these works are gradually taken over by machines or by maybe drones, etc. But in coming 2 3 decades, still we have to live with these human beings as our helpers. It's a mutual interdependence. We care for them and in return we are cared for by them. This is a mutual interdependence which survives not only through monetary exchange but it must involve the human exchange also. We must respect. So respect is the one thing but not the only thing in the formalization. But I do believe that if we learn from our social history, then we can understand that Jajmani system in India was a system based on mutual respect for all the occupations. So a similar kind of respect need to be re-established between the people who are doing all manual work. Now let me come back to the working profile or the occupational profile of India. So there is a big confusion that there is this much unemployment, etc. But to make it simplified, first we should understand out of a population of 140 crore, how many people, first of all, are not working at the prima facie itself. So out of so-called 140 crore people, there are 44 crore children below the age 18. Of this, not even 1% are working, even if we count child labor. 44 crore children below the age 18. That's India's population, we must know. इंडिया के पॉपुलेशन में 44 करोड़ चिल्ड्रन है जिनकी एज 18 ईयर से कम है. Of them, not even 1% are actually child labor. Of course, they might be working in some or the other home family work and also some paid work outside family work. So let us take 40 crore children. 40 crore children are not at all working. Similarly, the people above age 60, their population in India at present is 15%. I mean 10 to 12%, but it's going to be very fast, 15% by 2031 itself. So their population, let us count it as 15 crore. Of this 15 crore, 2 to 3 crore might be working. So again 12 crore above the age 16 are not 60 are not working. So 40 crore and either 12 crore. Let us take its round figure 10 crore. 50 crores are not working at all. So out of this 140 crore, 50 crore तो काम करते ही नहीं, बिकॉज वो चिल्ड्रन है और ओल्ड एज है, इतने तो काम करते ही नहीं, कर ही नहीं सकते. तो दे आर ऑलरेडी आउटसाइड द वर्कफोर्स कॉम्पोजिशन ऑफ इंडिया. तो अब कितने बच गए नाउ से 90 crores, करेक्ट. 90 crores आर इन द वर्कफोर्स. Of this 90 crore, let us understand what is occupational profile. It is said that 45% population is dependent on agriculture. Now it does not mean that 45% population is actually employed in agriculture. No. 45% people dependent on agriculture means it is inclusive of old age people and children. So actually how many people are getting job for actually the purpose of counting them employed? How many people? So it is in no case more than 20 crore. 20 crore people are can be said to be employed in agriculture. 20 crore. Even if it take 45% people dependent on agriculture, actually working are 20 crore. Of this 20 crore, if this 20 crore, 5 crore are net unemployed, means their marginal productivity is. So actually or somehow gainfully employed people in agriculture are 15 crore. Now what is the breakup of agriculture into various subsector like fishing, like poultry, like dairy, like horticulture? This one I will discuss. I will make a full-fledged video on this. This is very interesting to know agriculture के कितने सबसेक्टर है, कौन सा सबसेक्टर कितने लोगों को किस तरह का एम्प्लॉयमेंट देता है, क्या इसमें कोई आइडियल जॉब है. Yes, there are sectors like horticulture and to some extent dairy and to some extent fishing. They are proper job. Means even engineers are can join them, and I can say that some of the engineers returned from foreign countries have also preferred to do the jobs. We have now the figures. I will discuss how many US returned engineers have joined agriculture and how they are reshaping the future of agriculture in India. It's very interesting. Unfortunately, traditionally Indian agriculture has been dominated by the cropping sector, but fortunately again the percentage of people involved in cropping is fast shifting from cropping to commercial agriculture and herbal agriculture, horticulture, organic farming, and etc. One more thing about agriculture is that no person in agriculture is 100% working and employed only in agriculture. At least 2 to 3 occupations parallelly they deal. They may have some processing work, some other works, something associated is there in agriculture all. So the subsector wise detailed description of agriculture and agricultural occupation will come of course in another video. But 15 crore net employed, of this 2 to 3 crore people are highly, I mean, their income per annum is of industrial scale, and they can be a subject of envy and jealousy for even the people working in a highly paid private sector also. So I'll come to that. MSMEs are the second largest employer. Now, again, there is overlapping between MSME and agriculture, especially between micro and small industries. Around 30% population is overlapping between agriculture and MS, micro and small. Only in medium size industries there are full-fledged and exclusive owners and exclusive workers. Otherwise, in micro and small, 30% population is overlapping. It means that sometimes they work in agriculture and sometimes they switch over to micro and small, and sometimes from micro and small to agriculture. The similar is case in many other areas like in transportation and construction sector also. Many transportation workers, a great percentage of them, are part-time agriculturists and part-time construction workers. Similarly, many farmers are part-time drivers, transport workers, and also part-time agriculturists. So there is a lot of up to 25% overlapping again between construction work and agriculture and transportation work overlapping. तो ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट रवीश कुमार टाइप जर्नलिस्ट बोलते हैं या CMI सेंटर फॉर मॉनिटरिंग इंडियन इकोनॉमी टाइप ऑफ फंडेड NGO कहते हैं कि इंडिया में लोग अनएम्प्लॉयड है, बेसिकली ये रबिश और बकवास है, क्योंकि कोई भी 100% अनएम्प्लॉयड नहीं होता. वो 2 महीने एग्रीकल्चर में काम कर सकते हैं, फिर 2 महीना कंस्ट्रक्शन में काम कर सकते हैं. मेनी लेबरर्स फ्रॉम बिहार आफ्टर द सोइंग सीजन दे माइग्रेट टू अर्बन एरिया, वहाँ रिक्शा चलाते हैं, वहाँ कंस्ट्रक्शन लेबर का काम करते हैं. अगेन कटनी के टाइम में, मतलब हार्वेस्टिंग टाइम, they return. After harvesting, they again go back. Again sowing time, they return. So this is how the livelihood has been interdependent and overlapping and mixed. No person is actually unemployed. Even the most unemployed person is not unemployed throughout the year. No person. Problem is that we do not have a data, institutionalized data to counter all these claims, but these are the things which come from our 24/7 observational research. I have my own observational research, but the only problem is that this is not institutionalized research. But the things which I am saying, that the people who are doing for 2 months सब्जी की खेती करते हैं और फिर असम चले जाते, फिर बॉम्बे चले जाते, फिर दिल्ली चले जाते, उधर से 2-3-4 महीने काम किया, रिक्शा चलाया, पैसा लेके आया, फिर वापस खेती किया. सो इट इज़ अ कॉन्स्टेंट overlapping and constant movement, and that is the secret of multiplying their income. अपने इनकम को मल्टीप्लाई करने के लिए ये कैश इकोनॉमी और एग्रेरियन इकोनॉमी में कांस्टेंट मूवमेंट करना, दिस इज़ द सीक्रेट. I mean, this is the great economic acumen of low income group people, which is very hard to understand for the urbanized, narrow-minded journalist type economists. They will never understand it, how how genius these people. I mean, of course, they cannot be said to be genius in terms of being MS Swaminathan or a scientist, but within their limited knowledge and opportunities, how do they shuffle between one occupation to another occupation in 1 year, they shuffle between 2 to 3 minimum occupation, from agriculture to construction to sometime transportation. And at least two binaries are there: agriculture to construction, or agriculture to restaurant, or agriculture to transportation, and again back from transportation and construction and a hotel and restaurant back to agriculture, especially during sowing time and during harvesting time. This is how they enhance their per annum income. So जब एग्रीकल्चर का बेस्ट टाइम चल रहा है तो एग्रीकल्चर किया, जब थोड़ा सा गैप मिला बाहर गया, कैश लेके आया, उस कैश से अपने फेस्टिवल भी मनाया, और फिर उस कैश को री इन्वेस्ट किया एग्रीकल्चर में, और एग्रीकल्चरल आउटपुट को एनहांस कर दिया, मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया. तो कैश being earned from urban area being reinvested in agriculture and increasing agricultural output, that itself is an economic genius. These people need to be properly recognized and respected. This is where actually do we fail as a society. Instead of offering them respect, we start saying that these people are illiterate, uneducated, and we should hate them. So there are people, especially the so-called educated feminists and Marxists, they hate these people. That's the most pathetic. So this is the story, the very small part of them, and there are dimensions after dimensions which I can go on and on about agriculture. How do the people shuffle between agriculture and transportation and between agriculture and construction? I have numerous research data and stories to tell. Will do it, but अभी थोड़ा और देखते हैं. दूसरे सेक्टर MSME है. After agriculture, it gives employment to 10 crore at present. But as I said, there are overlapping. There is no exclusive job. Only in in medium enterprises, which has the potential to employ not more than 2 crore. Both owner से लेकर laborer तक 2 crore, right? But 8 crore get the job in micro and small, and of that 30% are shuffling workers, are overlapping workers. They are not exclusive workers. This problem is that we have a mindset that हम एक ही particular occupation में throughout the year काम करेंगे, तभी only then we can be recognized as employed throughout the year. This mindset has to go first of all. There are people who can survive by multiplying their income only when they keep shuffling between the jobs, 3 to 4 jobs. And the future also belongs to those flexible laborers who have 3 to 4 skills in pursuit of maximizing their income. Those who can shuffle in 1 year, those who can shuffle between 3 to 4 jobs, they are better capable of adjusting to the economic realities. So that is the second largest employer. तो एक तो हो गया 15 करोड़ एग्रीकल्चर में, 10 करोड़ MSMEs में, और फिर 7.7 करोड़, ऑलमोस्ट 8 करोड़ Indian workers are employed in construction. But I must tell again, ये जो 7.7 या 8 करोड़ है, ये भी इसमें भी 30% ओवरलैपिंग वर्कर्स है. इसमें फार्मर्स है जो सर्टेन पीरियड के लिए कंस्ट्रक्शन में जाते हैं. एक्सक्लूसिव वर्कर आर नॉट इवन 50%. बट एनी हाउ 7.7 crore worker, let me make it a round figure of 8 crore, are getting jobs under construction work. I will make a full-fledged 30 minutes video on the status of construction worker alone, including the status of women in construction work, also the status and the scale of child laborers in construction sector, right? The fourth largest sector that gives employment is 5 crore transportation sector. Transportations, drivers, including the gig workers, 5 crore. तो ये हो गया आपका वर्किंग प्रोफाइल, मेजर वर्किंग प्रोफाइल. एंड देन यू हैव वुमन वर्किंग, आई मीन हाउस वाइफ जिसको कहते हैं. तो हाउस वाइफ, that's unpaid work, but yes, that is one of the most important work. Unpaid, unsecure, unrecognized, unrewarded, unrespected. But this is a work, and I must tell this fact that the highest work is in, I mean, even more than agriculture. Agriculture में तो 15 crore लोगों को बोल सकते हैं कि लगे हैं. But there are 20 crore women who are exclusive house worker. Exclusive. तो इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा वर्कफोर्स हो गया, एग्रीकल्चर से भी बड़ा, और वो है किचन सेक्टर या हाउस सेक्टर. अगर इसमें 5 करोड़ हाउसमेड को ऐड कर दे, देन इट कम्स टू 25 crore people are engaged at least every day for 5 to 6 hours every day. That work is housework. That includes the housewife, means those who are the owner of the house, and those assistants like housemaid. 25 crore. एग्रीकल्चर से बड़ा, इतना बड़ा सेक्टर है, इतना बड़ा एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेटर है. क्वेश्चन ये है कि क्या इसको एम्प्लॉयमेंट की तरह डेवलप किया जा सकता है या नहीं. 25 crore people getting job in house sector. 20 crore house owners, housewives, housemaker, whatever we call, and 5 crore housemaid. The largest employer in India. But problem is, this is the question, can it be counted as a work? Can it be counted as an employment? But we have no option. We need to make it highly formalized to let it be counted as a full-fledged work. It is no menial work, it's no disrespectful work. We need to formalize it. How to formalize it? I will make a complete exclusive video on this of 30 minutes. एग्रीकल्चर के अंदर 4-5 सेक्टर्स पर अलग से एक सेक्टर पर बनाएंगे. तो कितने लोग एम्प्लॉयड हुए? 25 crore इन हाउस सेक्टर, 15 crore in agriculture sector, 40 crore, 8 crore in construction sector, 48 crore, 5 crore in transportation sector, 53 crore, and then there was MSME 10 crore, so 48 and 10, that comes to 58 crore. And then next you have domestic is included, and service sector that includes both formal and informal service sector, that is said to employ 15% of the population. So let us take it as because many of them are already covered under many overlapping works. So 15 crore. So we have now 16 crore plus 15 crore, 75 crore. 75 crore workers in India are easily identifiable. Around 2.5 crore people are working in government sector. So that comes to 77 crore. Right now we had determined that 90 crore people are working, of which around 80 crore are easily identifiable. Remaining will also be identified, and I will try to identify them and in another video. But before that, I will be making sector wise and subsector wise occupational profiling of all the work. The upshot or the message of this video was work is worship. All work need to be worshipped, and to make all work worshipable, we need to constantly put all our efforts in formalizing the informal works. And instead of forcing our people to go into the jobs which are already occupied by some people, we should try to make all works as glorious as possible. Farmers should be as glorious as anyone else. Construction workers, glorious. Let them earn money. Let them educate their children. Let them have their own houses. And then after a point of time, they can switch over to another sector. It does not mean that we have to work lifelong only in one occupation. We can keep on shifting from one occupation to another occupation. But in the beginning, if I am not capable of becoming doctor, then why should I wait for becoming a doctor? Why should I not start working in a hotel also as a laborer? And then later on, after having earned some money, I can switch over from this work to another work. Work is worship. All occupations are equal. Only then we can respect all castes, when we respect all occupations. And the greatest respect that we have to give is to the greatest employment in India, that is housework. 20 crore women and 5 crore housemen. We need to formalize that sector also. Okay, I will continue.